Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Enough Ting Speaks with your host, Enough Ting. So, as you can see by the title, this is going to be a true achievement story. Now, I have so many of them, but this one happened today, so we're going to talk about this one because, man, this is a good one. So, if you know anything about true achievements, and I've said this before, it's boosting sessions, right? So let's say you have a game that's really old and nobody plays the online, because there's a lot of games that should not have online because the online dies 6 months in. It doesn't stay that long, right? So you go into these boosting sessions, you host a session or you jump into someone's hosted session, right? So one of the games that's on this list of dead games online, the game is good, it's just the online is dead. Like, no one wants to play it. Now, when this game first came out, everybody was playing it. Now, this is Doom 2016, right? And if you don't know Doom 2016, it's like their new telling of the story from the 90s. Great game, right? Great game. But, the multiplayer is it's crazy, right? So what's been happening is that there's a group of guys, and they're all hosting boosting sessions, right? So you go into these boosting sessions, and there's a specific way to boost this game because you got to get to a high enough level to unlock certain what are they called again? Like certain armor pieces. Now, if you had bought the DLC when the game first came out back in the day, you got those armor pieces, for free. But once they let the game be free on Game Pass, this is what happened. Like, you have to now, they changed it up, right? They patched it. So you have to actually grind to get it. Now, mind you, that's the other issue with True Achievements and the gaming industry in a whole for achievements, is that when you have games like Doom, right, and it's dead, then they put it on Game Pass and anybody will start playing it. And there's a lot of achievement hunters that once they get one achievement, they have to get them all, right? So you get into these boosting sessions with people that just are just hungry for achievements. Like, they have to get it, right? Okay. So how this thing works, right? I'm going to read to you exactly what you have to do so you can understand what I'm going to say in this video. Boosting in a sector match, you have to play sector, right, is the most efficient way to level up. It is king of the hill with 2 hills. You can manipulate where the 2 hills are in general. So ideally, you move them as close as possible. In this mode, you will not be killing, just running back and forth. This video below shows you the 2 hills right beside each other. Everybody stays to the right and just keeps going back and forth for easy XP. Okay, so you got to manipulate sometimes so you can get the hills closer to, run to A. And then, you have 2 teams, right? So blue runs to A. Then red goes to B, right? And they're next to each other. So let's say blue's on left, red's on right. Now, after you get the hill, blue then runs to B, and then red runs to A. And then you just switch back and forth, right? It works fine. Once you get the hang of it, it becomes simple, right? It could be your first session and you can get it, right? Now, what happened today was, so here's what happened. I got to tell you like this, right? I was going to say what happened today was, no, what happened today. And we're going to be gangster about it. Our chest is going to be out and everything. I've been going to these sessions for about 2-3 weeks now, right? And I've met a couple people that are boosting both Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, right? So one of them, he's always late, right? I mean, all the time. And listen, I'm not dogging homeboy. I like him, but today he went off, right? He crashed out today, like legit crashed out. You guys got to hear this story. So what happened was he was late. The session started at 2 p.m., right? The session ended at 5 p.m. Now, apparently he's the same time as me, Eastern time, right? He's told us before that he has to go from work home, and he's late. Sometimes he gets caught in traffic, whatever. And everybody understands. Like, we don't dog him. Like, you can rate people on these sessions. We don't give them bad rating because we know, life comes first, right? We understand that all of us do, right? I can't speak for everybody, but I feel that they they seem to understand, right? Because I understand, and I'm an idiot apparently. So you know what I'm saying. So okay, so today he's late, right? And me and one of the dudes were like, "Oh, guy's late again," but no one's mad. We're still able to do it. It's not like we need him to do it. Like we had enough people, and he was just going to be an extra person, right? Cool. Him being late is holding him back more than holding us back. But you know what? Like I said, it's life. Like you got things to do. Okay. So, like I said, the session started at 2. It's 4:30 now. He appears. So there's 30 minutes left, right? So now, homeboy, he is in the thing and he starts barking orders. So me and the other dude who have been hosting the whole time, like I had one team and he had the other, right? This was my first time actually, hosting my own team. Go me. Yeah, go me. So, anywho, he comes up now and he starts barking orders. So me and the other dude don't say anything. So what happened was we were doing a lot of getting levels, right? Because you need to get the levels in the game, right? But there's some people that need kills, like literally need to get kills in the game, right? You get kills with the Cockademon. Is this a Cockademon? Like, it's such a weird name. And like, you got to get like 10 kills with the demon, right? And it's like 5 demons, you have to do 10 kills each. So you switch around who gets it, right? You got some with weapons, you got to get kills, whatever. Now, when we were doing it, dude is now telling people what to do and saying, okay, you guys do the kills, you guys do this, you guys do that, right? And it got messed up, right? Like it literally got messed up. What was going on was when you're supposed to tie in the sector, right? So that you can get like double overtime and whatever, right? So the game can last longer, you get more points. When we were doing that, people were getting kills, right? So then there's other people that are are capturing the hill, right? So we were losing like 6-1. Once a team gets 7, the game's over, right? So you have to stop them. So 6-1 with like 4 minutes remaining, right? So I said, yo, let blue get some of the hill and, get 6-6. I was blue and I was like, dude, let's just do this and get the 6, right? My boy is mad. He's like, nah, we got 4 minutes left or we got 3 minutes left. Let's just get some points now and whatever, right? So what he wanted to do was, while we were down 6-1, he wanted us to go back and forth capturing the same hill, which won't get us any points. We need to be 6-6. You know what I'm saying? Like, get it out of the way and then do the boosting. Why would we do the boosting and then at the end, oh, now we got to get the 5 points? No, that doesn't make any sense. That's not efficient time wasting. Like, hello? Like, time wasting. I don't know. That's not efficient. It's weird. So, okay, fine. So I'm trying to capture the hill, right? And when we got to 6-6, no, sorry, we got to like 6-5, right? Then, with all the confusion, red team got 7. Game's over. So dude gets upset. And he's like, oh, I can't believe it. None of you listen. I only got 1 level in that whole game and whatever, right? And I'm sitting there like, dude, you just came here, bro. But I didn't say nothing. Now, another dude had said, well, dude, you came late. But what he's trying to say is like he didn't get no levels, that we wasted his time. But dude, you were gone for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You were not there. So what is your argument here, bro? Also, we got messed up because you want to get kills. You want to get people to get kills and get us out of the way, which I understand, right? But these were new people. There was like 4 new people. This was confusing for them because we were doing it one way the whole time. Fine. So we're going to the next one, the next match, right? And the same thing happens again. This time, the last time it was 6-2, sorry. This time, it was 6-1. Or switch, whatever. It was probably 6-2 this time. Okay. He then says to somebody else, oh, we got to get the numbers matched up, right? We got to get a tie going. And people are doing kills, people are messing up because why did the game start and you caught 6 hills? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not supposed to do that. Like, your team is capturing the hills, right? Now, I said to him, I go, hold on, bro, how come when I tried to get my thing up so that we didn't have this problem, you were against it, but then now the same thing's happening again, but you're cool. You're fine with us getting a tie. And he's like, oh, blah, 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 because, no one's listening, y'all ain't listening, and blah, blah, blah. And then he's talking about how he only got 1 level, and you can't get no levels playing this and whatever. Mind you, this is game 2, okay? Like, he just came here. It's game 2, right? He claims it's game 3, but I remember him being only in 2. Okay, fine, right? So he's crashing out. Like, he's literally getting upset, right? And he's talking nonsense, right? So I said to this guy, I go, bro, what is wrong with you, dude? Because once again, someone in the background says, bro, you just got here, right? So I'm like, dude, what's with the crash out? Yo, I'm not crashing out, bro. If I was crashing out, I'd be explaining things. Dude, you've been sitting here explaining this whole time and crying about that you didn't get no levels, right? Now, mind you, why this is so funny, in other sessions, he's talked about how there's been people in the session that don't get an achievement and then leave. And he's like, yo, they're crybabies, right? Now, listen, I'm going to say this again. I don't have an issue with this dude. I do not, right? He's actually a YouTuber also. He does walkthroughs, and I've actually gone on his shit. Did I just swear? I apologize. I've gone on his stuff, and I've commented, right? I've given him love. I've given the algorithm a little bit of boost. You know what I'm saying? This guy's never done it back for me. No, I'm not saying you have to do anything, but what I'm saying is, someone's giving you love. I'm telling people, you're late sometimes and whatever, and I'm telling people, yo, check my boy out, check out his YouTube, whatever. You want some love, right? But you ain't giving me no love back, but I ain't saying nothing. Now, mind you, if you're gonna now bother me and start problems with me, it's only right that I remember this, right? But I didn't say any of that to him. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it. Now, mind you, homeboy decided to now complain some more, and then hear him now. I'm just gonna put my controller down, right? And get off the mic. And in my mind, I'm thinking, bro, are we okay right now, Doc? Because, like, I don't know what kind of situation you think you're in right now, bro, but you're around a whole bunch of guys. There's no women here. No one's going to have empathy for this, bro. Like, you're being silly, and you got told you're being silly, and now you're mad. So you can't just take the L and be over with it. And I'm not trying to be mean. It's like, dude, you came in there with a whole bunch of hostility, right? Now, one of the other guys in the thing, we were messaging each other. And he was like, I think you just had a bad day at work. And you know what? I get it, bro. Yeah, dude, life sucks. I totally understand, bro. We all do. All of our lives suck. But that doesn't mean you can come in there and be weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you're mad doesn't mean that we're supposed to take your abuse. Now, I'm not saying this guy was abusing everybody, whatever, but you were being annoying, bro. We've been boosting for the last 2.5 hours. We're approaching the end. We're tired, yo. I'm tired. I'm hungry. Some of the guys are in the group. They're saying, yo, I'm hungry, bro. Like, these guys are hungry, bro. Maybe someone had to go pee or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you can't just come in there with all this at the end, bro. You weren't there from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So now he ain't saying anything. So I didn't think he was actually playing anymore. Now, the other dude told me that, yeah, he was, but I couldn't see him because he was doing it at the corner where I couldn't see him. He's like, I just don't think he wanted to look at you. And I thought to myself, okay, I don't know if that's the reason, but if that is the reason, dude, come on. Are we serious right now? We grown. Like, we grown. We adults. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? Like, and my point is, right? You can't come into these things with ignorance, bro. You know, say, I'm not your daddy. I'm not your mama. We grown, homeboy. Like, we're all there to do something and get it done, right? You had good ideas at the end, but dude, it was too late at this point. We were tired. No one wants to do this. Now, you had these guys that they have to get an achievement. And it's like, bro, I should have got 2 achievements at the end or 1 achievement at the end, right? I didn't get it. I'm not crying. I'm going to go into another session, do it, and get the achievement. But I'm going to sit there and I'm going to help them, level up, if they need a body. You know what I'm saying? But my point is, dude, you didn't need to come in there and be miserable. You know what I'm saying? We were doing it fine, right? But we needed to tie up so that we can stay tied and capture the same hill. You stay in there for 2 seconds, you get out, the other team gets in there. Then then you go in, you back and forth it, right? You like if a team has 6 and the other one has 2, why can't the team with 2 capture some of the hills and get it over with? Now, your argument, and it's probably a valid argument, is you didn't get 1 level. You only got 1 level the whole game and you're mad. Right, bro, we had guys that were doing this getting 100 level over 2 sessions. Over 2 games. Like, dude, you re-up every 50 levels, right? You start off at 1, you get 50, it re-ups automatically and goes back to 1. Then you re-up again, goes back to 1. And you get unlocks and you get, ribbons and all that crap, right? We were good. We were doing it. It was getting done. Just because these guys don't have the kills doesn't mean they have to get it this session. But you know what? If you want to help them and they want to do it and we can get the stuff done at the same time, by all means. I've been in a couple of these now where we've actually got the stuff done while getting the kills, right? It wasn't working this time. You got 1 level and you're upset about it. You would have got a lot of levels if you were there. You would have got a lot of levels if you didn't tell them they could get kills. Why are you mad at me? You know what I'm saying? Just because I wanted it to be, tied up so that we wouldn't so what we're going to do, wait till the last minute and then everybody is going to now decide, oh, we got to stop now, let these guys capture the hill. Because the hill doesn't change right away. Once you capture a hill and it's moving, you have to then wait a little bit for it to spawn somewhere else. To get, 4 or 5 in that short period of time, it's doable, but why even bother? Get it done at the beginning. We should be at 6-6, if anything, or 4-4, 2-2, or 1-1, or 0-0. That's what it should have been. But you're mad. You're upset over that. And it's like, because you didn't get 1 level, and that's the argument. Like, nothing else mattered. It was because he got 1 level, and that's what triggered this guy, right? And it's like, dude, if you're a miserable person because you're hungry, then why didn't you just say, look, man, it's 4:30. I'm not going to be able to do this with y'all. I apologize. You go get some food. Join the next session. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to jump in. 30 minutes was left. What was the point? To then ruin a perfectly good session because you just couldn't just say, you know what? 30 minutes, I'm going to get a couple levels. There's no point. I don't care. Like, he would have got a lot more if we were able to do what we were doing. But what's the point, dude? Go into another session and do the full 3 hours. You'll be fine at that point. Anyways, that's the end of that. I'm not talking about that anymore. I do not want to talk about this anymore. I'm done with this story. But this is to show you that this is the mindset of people where I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to tell you, it's like, I don't know if you call it entitlement. I don't know what you'd call it, but or I'm miserable, so everybody else got to be miserable too. I don't know what it is. If comment down below and tell me what this is, because I have no idea. I don't really care because I'm not nobody's daddy. The only people that call me daddy is my kids. So, and maybe a couple girls, who knows? Yeah, but yeah. Besides all that, I have no issue with the dude. I wish him well. If I go in a session with him, no hard feelings. It's just, we're going to talk about what we see, right? Because enough things got to speak, right? Anyways, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Another late night chasing down the light for the grind that nothing has to fight against.